Good morning. I'm Dr. Ramon Martinez from La Raza Historical Society. It's Saturday, October 15th, 2022, and I'm in downtown Cesar Chavez Park, headed to Dia de San Jose, which is the Dia de los Muertos in San Jose. I believe today is the 18th or 19th annual program. I'm here talking to Augustine Lerma, Gus Lerma, who's from the American Legion. Hello, Gus.
Post 809.
Tell me about Post 809.
We serve the community. We do a bunch of programs for the community. The most important one is we have a color guard that honors our deceased veterans. It's on a voluntary basis, no cost, and we will provide a rifle squad, taps, fold the flag, and bid goodbye to any veteran that requests it. Call me at 259-7590, 408-259-7590.
Thank you.
And I will forward the message to the person that coordinates all of our events.
Gus, I've known you for some years, and I know you were active in the GI Forum, and your career was in the tech industry. Tell me about your military background.
Oh, let's see, 1964 to 1965, I served in the U.S. Army. I spent a year in South Korea, very, very cold, very cold. Being raised in San Jose, I didn't know what cold was until I got to South Korea. Then I found out, wow. Anyway, I did a couple of years in the service and then the reserve, and here we are, 40 years later.
You also were an IBMer.
No, Lockheed Martin.
Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, I'm a retired engineer from Lockheed Martin, ICBMs, satellites, commercial, military, all of that stuff. I can't remember half of the stuff that went on over there. I've been retired for almost, for 20 years now. Time flies. Time flies when you're having fun. What advice do you have for young people who are thinking of either joining the military or are being told that it's not a good thing to do? Oh, I think the military is a good experience, but what I would tell young people is stay in school, get your diploma, get your college degree, and then join the military. Go to the military, become an officer, and tell people what to do.
My name is Rene Quiroz. I was born in Fresno, raised in Madera, and then came to San Jose when I was 12 years old, 1957. And then I was drafted in 1965 after I took a break from going to college for a semester, and that was a mistake because Uncle Sam was waiting for me. So he drafted me, and then I went to Vietnam with the 4th Infantry Division. Yeah.
What years did you serve in Vietnam?
66, 67. Yeah.
What did you do after the service?
After the service, came back, got married, kept going to night school, and then I worked in a factory, and then after I worked my way up and I kept going to night school, I got a job with Space Systems Morale. and in engineering lab department for the battery lab. Yeah, and I was there for 25 years. Yes. Satellite. They make satellites. They made the satellites for, and also the space station. They put up the space station. There's batteries on the space station. So it was a great place, and it's close to Lockheed Martin.
Yeah. Both of you have talked about being in the technology world.
Yes.
What advice do you have for young people who are in high school and are thinking of joining the military, or are being told that the military is not a good thing?
Yes. No. The thing is, graduate high school, go to college, and get a degree, and then join the military and try to specialize in something that's related to what you graduated from, because then that'll give you a whole bunch of experience and background. So if you go to the civilian side, you have that all behind you, and really opens up the doors for you. So it's very important that they do that, because it's getting harder and harder to get a good job, and it's getting more expensive in this world.
Would you tell me your name again?
Rene Quiroz.
Rene Quiroz.
Yes.
How do you spell Quiroz?
Q-U-I-R-O-Z.
All right. Rene, I'm looking at the material that's on your table here at DIA. Tell me about your group and what you do.
American Legion Post 809 is a group of members that are all veterans from the different wars, and we get together every month on the fourth Tuesday of the month at the Moose Lodge. And like you said, our specialty is we do honor guard for the deceased, and also we all that are doing the military junior ROTC, and we support them. And in the east side, all the schools, Silver Creek, Mount Pleasant, Yerba Buena, Andrew Hill, all those east side schools. And we also do a wreath across America in December to honor all the deceased war veterans. And the schools and the ROTC members, they help us distribute those wreaths across America at different cemeteries. Yes.
Okay.
Good morning, my name is Tony Gonzales. I'm also a member of the San Jose Post 809. We're volunteering here for the Dia de San Jose to ensure that everybody's safe and that the place maintains nice and clean. So we're having a good time with everybody, and pretty exciting day for us. It's been a couple of years because of the pandemic, but we're back in business. If you get a chance, look for us in the future. We'll be doing this again. But overall, you got to see the crowd. Well, you will be seeing the crowd. We're having a great time here. Dia de San Jose is historic for us. More raza than you want to imagine. Really a good time with everybody and having a great time. So come on down when you get a chance, and we'll see you soon.
Full disclosure, I know Tony Gonzales since we were little kids.
We did.
Tony,
we sang out.
tell me about your background and your personal story.
Well, I'm from Bakersfield, California. I grew up in Bakersfield. I left there when I was 17. I went into the military at 17, spent 4 years in the military, traveled all over the place, went to Vietnam for 2 years, came back, went to San Jose State, stayed here in the area, obviously, moved to Southern Cal for a little bit, but San Jose's home now. It's nice to go to Bakersfield on occasion, but San Jose's home, and I love it here. It's great to see you too, Ray, by the way. Always good to see you.
What are the opportunities that young people who might see this video, what are the opportunities for them here in San Jose?
You know, there's countless opportunities. The job market is great. The education, possibilities for education are fabulous. We got a great program now, bringing in more Raza, more Latinos. Young women are very, very much more active than they were when I was a young person going to school. So the opportunities, just look around when you're going through town, you can see businesses, education, especially a lot of cultural stuff. The kids, our programs that we're having nowadays really educate the kids in what the cultura is all about. So, but people are more proud. We're proud, the Raza's together, and we're moving ahead more and more to become a stronger community. So it's great. It's great. Can't beat it.
This is one of the fanciest hotels in town. It used to be called the Fairmont. It now has a new name. But in front of the fanciest place in town, you have these fountains. And when you come here during the summer, you see poor kids that live around here running and jumping in the water. That's what makes San Jose the San Jose that has a heart. Because in front of the wealthiest place, there's a public fountain for the neediest family. Que viva San Jose! And you don't have to be needy to come here. You can come here just to have fun. Good afternoon. It's October the 15th on a beautiful Saturday, 2022. I'm Dr. Ramon Martinez from La Raza Historical Society, and I'm downtown in San Jose, and I want to show you a monument that's here that will help people remember the legacy of Dr. Ernesto Galarza. I'm working with City of San Jose and other groups on a history of El Viso, and Dr. Galarza worked in El Viso in the 1970s when El Viso was being considered to be annexed to San Jose. And it was a big political issue, and you'll know more about it from this history project. Meanwhile, I want to remind everyone about some of his accomplishments. First of all, the monument downtown has these ribbons inlaid in the ground. They run all the way to San Jose State University. But they say quotations from his, about him and people who knew him. So here's one that says, "He treated us all as equals. He was one of our heroes. His most cherished dream was that someday all people would be the beneficiaries of democracy, freedom, and justice." Then these ribbons continue, and they're in English and in Spanish, each one telling about who he was. Here's another view of the table. It has a chair. It's got different quotations on it. It has photographs. It's got spikes. A big hat. Photographs and explanations. Pick. A rake. Remembering
our agricultural heritage as farm workers in the fields. Vale más la revolución que viene que la que se fue. This means that the revolution that's coming is worth more than the revolution that went by, the revolution of yesterday. Here's a picture of him. He was born in Mexico in 1905. Immigrated to Sacramento, California, went to school. That story is told in many, many places. Just look up Ernesto de Larza on the net. But basically, he was educated in Sacramento in American schools. He was the first Mexican American to go and graduate from Stanford University. He was then received a doctorate from a university on the East Coast, and he spent his life working on issues regarding agriculture and corporate business. This hat is a replica of a hat he used to wear when he was working in his garden. He retired to San Jose after a lifetime of work, and he lived over in the Willow Glen area, and he had a garden in his backyard. I remember visiting him, sitting in his garden with his big hat. Picture of him and his wife May Galarza. And he and May were that young couple in the 1930s that were modern, had no patience for what was wrong with the world, and they traveled the world joining movements that would, they traveled the world involved in projects that would help people everywhere. They started a progressive school in the 1930s in the Washington, D.C. area. Dr. Galarza was involved with the Southern Tenant Farmers Union with H.L. Mitchell in the 1930s, trying to organize farm people. In this case, the Southern Tenants Union was black sharecroppers, and the laws of the United States did not protect agricultural workers in any way. This chair might refer to the fact that he was an academic. He studied international migrant agricultural labor. He received the main prize of the Bolivian government in the 1930s, and he talked about farm worker migrants as an issue across the world. They were cheap slave labor to any country, and he talked about ideas on how to improve countries where they are, how to help people stay where they are, and how to reform American agricultural law so that farm workers would get a fair share of what they worked for.
Here's a poem. I'm not sure if he wrote it, but it says, the poem is called Could Be. I only sang because the lonely road was long, and now the road and I are gone, but not the song. I only spoke the verse to pay for borrowed time, and now the clock and I are broken, but not the rhyme. Possibly the self not being fundamental, eternity breathes only on the incidental. So Dr. Galarza was the precursor before Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez is the chapter after the work of Dr. Galarza. Dr. Galarza struggled and lost many battles, but Cesar Chavez studied the losses. He worked with Dr. Galarza, who gave him ideas about what to do and what not to do. Here are bracero farm workers who were brought to the United States in the 1940s, when the men here had to go to war. Los braceros leen, son braceros mexicanos, van a trabajar en los Estados Unidos, leen los contratos de trabajo mientras esperan leer el periódico. So these farm workers are from Mexico, they're going to the United States, they're reading their contracts and waiting to read the newspaper. Here's a photograph of Dr. Galarza as a teenager on a burro. I believe the picture was taken in Mexico, but if it's possible it was taken in the United States. This is a picture of his mother. She was a single mother. He was her only son. They came from a village in Nayarit, Mexico. And she taught him how to read from a cookbook that she had. This is Dr. Ernesto Galarza, the teacher, the professor. Education can be thought of as progress of the individual, powered by his own experience, observation, feeling, thought, curiosity, and biological endowment, rather than to be the power of adults over him. This is motivation in the genuine sense, the forward movement of personality towards enlarging circles of experience anchored in a sense of worth and success in the past. What a mind. La educación puede considerarse como el progreso del individuo, ayudado por su propia experiencia, observación, sentimiento, curiosidad y su talento biológico, en lugar del poder que los adultos, tengan sobre él. Esto es la motivación, en su sentido genuino, el movimiento continuo de la personalidad hacia los círculos extendidos de la experiencia, asentados en un sentido de valor propio y triunfo en el pasado.